Men, a woman's phone behavior reveals everything about whether she's faithful or hiding someone else. When phone habits change dramatically from what was normal in your relationship, those changes aren't random. They're deliberate adjustments made to conceal communication with another man she doesn't want you to know about. Before we start, hit subscribe, drop a like, and comment if you've noticed these exact phone habit changes and later discovered she was hiding someone else. Your engagement helps other men trust what they're observing instead of being gaslit into thinking changed phone behavior is normal. Phone habit change. 1. She takes her phone everywhere, including the bathroom. When she suddenly starts taking her phone into the bathroom for showers, into the kitchen when making coffee, into every room she goes to even for 2 minutes, and basically never lets the phone out of her physical possession, she's ensuring you can't access it when she's not present to monitor. This constant phone proximity isn't about staying connected, it's about preventing you from seeing what's on that device. What this change actually reveals. This change reveals she has active communication with someone that would expose affair if you saw her phone. Women in faithful relationships leave phones charging in other rooms, on counters when they walk away, or anywhere convenient because there's nothing on the device they're worried about partners seeing. When constant phone possession becomes necessary, there's something on that phone that must be protected from your eyes at all times. Notice when the constant phone carrying started. If she used to leave her phone lying around freely, and this changed suddenly, what changed to make constant possession necessary? The change indicates new content on the phone that requires new protection. If you can identify approximately when this shift occurred, you can likely correlate it with when affair partner entered her life. Watch what happens if she accidentally leaves her phone somewhere. If she realizes phone is in other room and immediately goes to get it with visible anxiety, or if she seems stressed when separated from it even briefly. The anxiety reveals how critical maintaining phone control is to keeping secrets. If you pick up her phone innocently and she panics or rushes to take it from you, that panic is because you're holding evidence she can't let you see. Pay attention to bathroom phone behavior specifically. There's no legitimate reason to take your phone into the shower or to have it with you during every bathroom visit unless you're maintaining constant communication with someone. If she's texting from the bathroom, having long bathroom sessions with her phone, or clearly using bathroom as private communication space, she's hiding conversations from you. Observe whether phone possession extends to sleep. If she sleeps with phone under her pillow or on her nightstand within arm's reach when she never did before, she's monitoring for messages even during sleep. If she checks phone immediately upon waking before even greeting you, someone else is her first thought and first contact of the day. Sleep-time phone proximity reveals how central this hidden communication is to her life. Notice if she's created patterns where phone is always inaccessible to you. If she positions herself so her phone is always on her side away from you, if she never sets it down in spaces where you could reach it, if the device is literally never in a position where you could casually pick it up, this physical barrier is deliberate strategy to ensure you never have opportunity to see what she's hiding. Why this change means she's hiding someone. This change means hiding someone because constant phone possession is only necessary when there's content that would expose affair. If communication with another man is ongoing throughout the day with texts, calls, photos, or app messages, she needs constant phone access to maintain that communication and constant control to prevent you from discovering it. The phone never leaving her side means evidence of another man never leaves her side. Phone habit change. 2. She adds passwords or changes existing ones without explanation. When she suddenly implements password protection on a phone that was never locked, or changes existing passwords you knew without telling you what the new password is, She's creating technical barriers between you and phone content. Password changes mean there's something new on that phone that must be protected through security measures that prevent your access even if you physically have the device. What this change actually reveals: this change reveals she has content on the phone she's deliberately protecting from you seeing. People don't suddenly need passwords or change existing ones without reason. The reason is new communication, photos, apps, or messages that would expose affair if discovered. Password implementation or changes are direct evidence that phone content has changed in ways that require concealment. Notice whether password change came with explanation. If she changed password and volunteered the new one to you, it might be innocent security update. If she changed it and didn't tell you, or if she refuses to share new password claiming privacy needs, the change was specifically to block your access. Partners in faithful relationships share phone access. Partners hiding affairs create barriers. Watch what happens if you ask for the new password. If she refuses, gets defensive, or claims you don't need access to her phone, she's protecting affair evidence. There's no legitimate reason to refuse sharing password with committed partner unless there's content on device you shouldn't see. Her refusal to provide access confirms access would expose something she's hiding. Pay attention to additional security measures. If she's implemented face recognition, fingerprint locks, or multiple layers of security that make accessing phone complex even if you have password, she's being extremely thorough about preventing discovery. Sophisticated security measures indicate sophisticated deception. She's not casually protecting privacy. She's deliberately securing evidence. Observe whether she makes you feel wrong for wanting access. If you express that sudden password implementation makes you uncomfortable, and she responds by accusing you of being controlling, untrusting, or insecure rather than reassuring you, she's using manipulation to protect secrets. Making you the problem for noticing reasonable red flag is deflection tactic cheaters use. Notice if password protection extends to apps. If phone itself has new password, but also individual apps like messaging, photos, or social media have separate locks, she's protecting specific content beyond general phone access. App-specific security means those particular apps contain affair evidence, and even if you somehow accessed phone, you still couldn't see what those apps contain. Why this change means she's hiding someone. This change means hiding someone because password implementation or changes serve one purpose: preventing you from seeing phone content. If content was innocent, access wouldn't need blocking. The technical barriers she's creating are protecting messages, calls, photos, and app activity with a fair partner. She's secured the evidence of another man behind passwords you're not allowed to have. Phone habit change 3. She deletes messages and call logs regularly. When you notice her text message history is suspiciously sparse, call logs are empty or only go back hours instead of days, and she's clearly deleting communication regularly rather than letting it accumulate naturally, she's actively removing evidence of conversations with someone she doesn't want you to discover. Deletion proves consciousness of guilt and deliberate evidence destruction. What this change actually reveals: this change reveals she's having conversations she knows would expose affair if you saw them, so she's systematically eliminating the record. People in faithful relationships accumulate normal text and call history because there's nothing problematic to hide. When communication history is being actively managed through deletion, there are messages and calls that would reveal a fair partner's existence if they remain visible. Notice if message threads are missing entirely. If she used to have ongoing text conversations with various people and now threads are deleted or only show recent messages, she's clearing history. If specific contacts that used to text her are missing from messages entirely, she's either deleted them or saved them under fake names to hide identity. Missing threads indicate hidden conversations. Watch if call logs show gaps or are empty. If call log only shows last few calls when it should show days of history, she's regularly clearing it. If you notice certain numbers are never in call log, even though she's clearly taking calls, she's deleting specific call records. If log is completely empty when she's been using phone all day, she cleared it before you could see who she's been calling. Pay attention to deletion timing. If you notice she deletes messages right after conversations, or if she clears history at specific times like before coming home, she has routine for evidence removal. If deletion happens when you're nearby or about to see her phone, she's being cautious about you accidentally discovering communication before she can eliminate it. Observe whether she's using apps that auto-delete. If she's switched to messaging apps that automatically delete messages after reading, that disappear after certain time, or that don't keep records, she's using technology designed for concealment. Apps like Snapchat or messaging platforms with disappearing message features are popular with cheaters specifically because they eliminate evidence automatically. Notice if deletion is selective. If some message threads remain while others are consistently empty, she's selectively deleting communication with a fair partner while maintaining normal message history with legitimate contacts. This selective deletion proves she knows which communications are problematic and is managing evidence strategically. Why this change means she's hiding someone. This change means hiding someone because message and call deletion only serves to hide evidence of communication that would expose affair. If conversations were innocent, there'd be no reason to delete them. By systematically removing communication records, she's eliminating proof of relationship with another man. The deletion itself is evidence even when the actual messages are gone. Phone habit change 4. She puts phone face down and on silent constantly. When her phone placement changes from face up where notifications were visible to always face down where you can't see screen, and when phone goes from normal sound to silent mode constantly so you don't hear incoming messages or calls, she's preventing you from seeing or hearing who's contacting her. These positioning and sound changes hide incoming communication from someone she doesn't want you to know about. What this change actually reveals. This change reveals she's receiving communication from a fair partner throughout the day, and she's preventing you from seeing notification previews or hearing ringtones that might reveal who's contacting her. Face-down positioning and silent mode are strategies to ensure you can't casually observe who's reaching out to her or read message previews that appear on lock screen. Notice when phone positioning changed. If she used to leave phone face up casually, and now it's always face down, the change happened for reason. Face down positioning prevents you from seeing screen when notifications arrive. If you see screen light up from message, but can't see who it's from or what it says, face down position accomplished its purpose of concealment. Watch if she immediately flips phone over when setting it down. If grabbing phone and placing it face down is automatic behavior every time, she's habituated to protecting screen from your view. If she corrects phone position when she notices it's face up, or if she seems uncomfortable when phone is visible side up, her anxiety about you seeing screen reveals there are notifications she's hiding. Pay attention to silent mode patterns. If phone is always on silent when she's with you, but you notice she uses sound in other contexts, the silence is specific to preventing you from hearing notifications. If she silences phone immediately, when coming home, or when you're together, she's eliminating your ability to hear when a fair partner contacts her. Targeted silencing reveals targeted concealment. Observe what happens when phone makes noise accidentally. If notification sound goes off and she quickly grabs phone with visible concern, or if she immediately checks who contacted her and seems relieved or worried based on who it was, her reaction reveals she's monitoring for specific person. If she's more concerned about you hearing notification than about the message itself, hiding sender identity matters more than message content. Notice whether she adjusts notification settings. If she's turned off lock screen notification previews, disabled pop-up alerts, or changed settings so messages don't show sender or content on screen, she's technically preventing information from displaying, even if you see phone when notification arrives. These technical adjustments prove deliberate concealment strategy. Why this change means she's hiding someone. This change means hiding someone because face-down placement and silent mode specifically prevent you from observing who's contacting her. If communication was innocent, you seeing names or messages wouldn't be problematic. By ensuring you can't casually see who's reaching out or read preview messages, she's hiding identity and content of affair partner's communication. The positioning and silence protect his identity. Phone habit change. 5. She steps away to take calls or text in private. When she starts leaving the room to answer calls, going outside to have conversations, texting in the bathroom or other private spaces, or creating physical distance from you when using her phone, she's removing herself from your observation because the communication would expose affair if you overheard. Private phone use means the content isn't appropriate for you to hear or see. What this change actually reveals? This change reveals she's having conversations with a affair partner that would immediately expose the relationship if you overheard. She can't talk to him in your presence because the tone, content, pet names, or intimate nature of conversation would reveal they're more than friends. Physical removal for phone use is necessity for maintaining a fair communication while you're present. Notice which calls require privacy. If she answers some calls normally around you, but takes others in private spaces, the private calls are from someone whose conversation you can't overhear. If specific caller always triggers her leaving room, that specific person is who she's hiding. If she checks caller ID before deciding whether to answer in front of you or take it elsewhere, she's screening based on who can and cannot be acknowledged in your presence. Watch her body language during private communication. If she comes back from private phone use seeming happy, flushed, or emotionally affected, the conversation was emotionally significant. If she takes call and returns stressed or changed in mood, the call created emotional response because it was meaningful interaction. If private calls affect her emotional state, they're intimate conversations, not casual ones. Pay attention to texting behavior in your presence. If she's constantly texting but angles body away so you can't see screen, if she stops texting when you get closer, if she waits until you're distracted to respond to messages, or if she only texts freely when you're not around, the messages contain content you're not supposed to see. Protective texting posture reveals protective message content. Observe how she explains private phone use. If she takes call in another room and returns with vague explanation about who it was, or if she claims it was work, friend, or family, but the explanation doesn't match the duration or emotional tone of the call, she's lying about who she was talking to. If explanations seem evasive, or if details change when you ask follow-ups, she's covering affair partner's identity. Notice if privacy needs have consistent patterns, if she always needs privacy for phone use at certain times, or if certain days require more private communication than others, the pattern reveals scheduled contact with a affair partner. If she's unavailable or needs privacy during windows that correlate with affair partner's free time, the timing exposes the coordination. Why this change means she's hiding someone. This change means hiding someone because physically removing herself for phone communication is only necessary when conversation would expose affair if overheard. Faithful partners take calls in front of each other because conversations are appropriate for partner to hear. Affair partners require privacy because the tone, intimacy, and content would immediately reveal relationship to anyone listening. Her physical removal for calls proves those calls are with someone she's hiding. Phone habit change. 6. She's constantly checking phone and seems anxious about missing messages. When her phone checking becomes obsessive where she's constantly looking at it, immediately responding to every notification, seeming anxious if separated from phone for any length of time, or appearing stressed about potentially missing messages, she's monitoring constant communication with affair partner. The anxiety and compulsive checking reveal how central this hidden communication has become to her daily life. What this change actually reveals. This change reveals she's in active constant communication with affair partner, and maintaining that communication is priority that creates anxiety when interrupted. New affair relationships create obsessive communication patterns because participants can't get enough of each other. Her compulsive phone checking and anxiety about missing messages reveals she's in this intense communication phase with someone new. Notice the frequency of phone checking. If she's looking at phone every few minutes, if every notification gets immediate attention, if she's constantly touching phone even when not using it, the behavior is compulsive. Normal phone use has gaps. Obsessive phone monitoring during affair has no gaps because she's waiting for and responding to constant contact from someone who matters intensely to her. Watch what happens when phone is unavailable. If phone dies or she leaves it somewhere and she becomes visibly anxious, stressed, or agitated, she's worried about missing communication. If she can't relax until phone is back and working, if she immediately checks multiple apps when phone is back in hand, or if she seems relieved to reconnect with device, the anxiety was about missing contact from affair partner. Pay attention to her mood connection to phone activity. If her mood improves when messages come through, if she smiles at phone constantly, if good messages make her day, while no messages make her anxious or irritated, her emotional state is tied to communication from someone. If phone activity controls her emotions, whoever she's communicating with controls her emotions because they're providing emotional fulfillment she's living for. Observe what times create most phone anxiety. If she's particularly anxious about phone access during times affair, partner would typically contact her, or if certain times of day create obsessive checking behavior, those are windows when she expects to hear from him. If anxiety peaks when she knows he's available, the pattern exposes whose communication she's monitoring for. Notice whether phone use interferes with present activities. If she can't focus on conversations with you because she's distracted by phone, if she's checking it during meals or intimate moments, if phone takes priority over whatever else is happening, the communication she's maintaining has become more important than present reality. When phone supersedes partner, affair partner, supersedes relationship. Why this change means she's hiding someone. This change means hiding someone because obsessive phone checking and anxiety about missing messages indicates constant, intense communication that only exists in affair relationships. Established relationships don't require constant contact or create anxiety about missing messages. New affair relationships do. Her compulsive monitoring reveals she's in constant communication with someone whose messages she can't miss, because that person is central to her emotional world now.